Hello, hello, howdy, Redwife. Lurking on stream while designing your Warptorio sushi science? Oh, that sounds very nice. But I did not do sushi science, and it didn't. It used a lot of space. Which socks did I wear yesterday? Let's see. I wore my super thermal socks, the Polar Extremes. Let's see if I can find the pic real quick. Do. This pair, my trusty pair for cold weather. They're not Christmassy, but they're so warm that they make it feel like Christmas. They're very nice. Did I forget anything? Okay, cool. I actually have the correct category today. Wait. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, wait. What am I doing Thursday? I might be doing Dyson Sphere on Thursday. Never mind. It's not installed. Well, okay, it's 4 gigabytes. I can install it by Thursday. Yeah, I want to try the new Dyson Sphere program update. And Thursday tends to be my non-Factorio day. Yeah, we are doing burner designing today because I think Tuesday's a good day for that. If I don't have a meme run Monday, that's carrying over to the next day. So we'll be doing burner designs. We have kind of an outpost down. It's not it's not technically a blueprint of an outpost, but it is a usable version of the outpost. It needs some refining, I think, in terms of balance, but it's something we can work with for sure. There's probably some other things I can do. I'm assuming you can't read the inventory of individual wagons, just the entire, probably just the entire train. So I could have this leave as soon as it runs out of iron in all of the wagons. That would work decently, I think, as long as I have a balancer. So if I do like a four, let's see how do I let's see if I remember how to make a balancer. I want to say I feel like this is too many splitters, but maybe. I want to say this works. I feel like it doesn't need this one. I think that's it. If I give that 4 things, does it get split evenly? 1, 2, 4. Okay. Nope. Okay, I missed part of it. You got infected with balancing too? Well, we need at least some balance on this outpost because this is gonna be using blueprints. Yeah, we have trains and balancing, 2 things we've never heard of. Okay, so that first splitter is necessary. Okay. I think one. Oh, and I have to make sure I click on the same side for it to work. Okay. So the idea there is fairly simple. You know, just keep things balanced because if we have this leave whenever it's only out of iron, that means it has to be completely out of iron. We could do that plus time, because another option is to just calculate how long it takes for 12 inserters to empty it. The problem with that, as like our primary method, is that there's going to be I don't know. I think there's going to be like an hour where we're using, probably not an hour, maybe half an hour where we're not using the full stack size upgrade. Because, isn't it? It's pretty expensive, right? Stack size bonus is here, and then 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Almost, it's like an entire, actually, it's not that bad. So that would be like, what, probably 20, 30 minutes of research, something like that. Yeah, I thought the production science cost was way higher, but okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I was like, why is it so awkwardly quiet? Because this is editor mode. Where is it? There we go. There we go. Put the music back on. Yeah, I for editor mode, I just keep it. I just play background music instead, because it's silent most of the time, especially when things are paused. Like absolutely no sounds going on in the game usually. Let's see. So this outpost is really nice. I could design the mining. I could design the drills. I have two things I could do today. We can design the drills, or we can design part of the starter base. I would like to do this with staged blueprints at some point, but I think it's not that important to do the staging right now because I don't really know what I want in the stages. Or yeah, I figured I might as well just might as well just design the base first. I think that'll be fine, and then I can stage it later. Because the staging doesn't need to be that perfect. It just, I mean, our goal is like 12 hours, so the staging on the starter base isn't gonna make massive differences in terms of like bot build order, because we have a whole lot of time for things to start. Let's see. This is the train network. Okay, I still wait. I don't quite know what these are. Oh wait, is this because of the builder train? Is this just a builder train thing? Outputs red, green, and yellow. Yeah, I don't quite. I saw that. I copied the. These are the. This is a copy of the outpost from the normal 100% run, and I don't understand what this does. It might have to do with the builder train. No, this would have to do with the builder train. Wait. Does it? No. I don't think that's supposed to be there. No, it is. Okay. I'm sure there's some reason for this. It has some... No idea what it is. Oh, wait. I think... No, someone was saying... I think someone said this is to do with making it that only one train can be on the track in the middle at once, or, like, guaranteeing that. Okay. Yeah, we can... It probably doesn't need to be altered with the changes we're making then. I mean, as long as we don't need to change it, everything is fine. If I have to try to move that somewhere else, then everything breaks. But if we can keep it there, everything is good. Then we have burner drills here. There's so many different ways I can do a smelting lane. And the build speed is dependent largely on how many lanes I build at once. So we obviously can't do the compact version for the first lane because it is incredibly expensive. It requires 1 underground per set of burner drills, which is a lot. Actually, I think it's almost as expensive as the burner drills themselves, maybe. Undergrounds are not particularly cheap. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much the same cost as the burner drills would be going into undergrounds with that. So we can't afford that as our first smelting lane. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. I bumped the audio levels on accident. Okay, so smelting lane. Not gonna do the compact version. We could do the other compact version. The latency of it is really high. I don't think it's slow to build, but it's also not fast. Basically, okay. Here's like a standard lane, I guess. There's also this lane. I'm just gonna not build the inserters. Okay, we could also consider this one. This one is nice because there's dedicated coal and it gives you dedicated iron, so you don't have to connect as many lanes, but you do have to add more splitters and stuff in every row, which isn't that significant, I think. It's either that or dragging like twice as many belts. So I think the time you spend on splitters probably ends up being less than the time you spend dragging 4 belts at once. But it probably depends how far the patches are. So this one's pretty solid. The only downside is you can only really make 1/2 at a time when you drag the inserters. You just kind of have to do them in pairs. Your other option, this option, lets you do multiple rows and you can scale it up as far as you want. And then there's helicopter inserters. Hello, Patrick. I'm happy you liked the video. I was super glad to release that finally. It was delayed a couple times because my internet is just so bad I couldn't find the time to upload it. But yeah, had fun with that. We're working. This one won't have a video for a while because there's a lot of footage for the first version of this that I would need to go through. But I do plan on doing something for this as well. This is something I've been working on just on and off for like a couple years. Not entirely on stream. I've just always had a fascination with burner inserters. So I want to get every single achievement in under 12 hours, probably, is my goal. Using only burner inserters and burner drills. It will be something. The first attempt was 26 hours. So this time around we'll be using blueprints, and that is what we are working on. Working on right now. It's definitely definitely fun. But yeah, I think, let's see. I think so I don't actually know the time. I don't think I saved it. But yeah, it is something around there. But yeah, definitely thanks for the luck. I will need it because these inserters are bad. Inserters are really bad. We spent so much time trying to like basically UPS optimize burner inserters, which is not something I don't think anyone's done in their life. Like I can't imagine that. My phone just started freaking out. That was weird. I can't imagine optimizing burner inserters is something many people do. But yeah, this is these are our options for building. This one is actually pretty fast. It might not look it, but I think this is the fastest way. Maybe the fastest one? I think it depends how many you build at once. This one is the fastest if you build like 4 to 6 rows of burner drills. So like 2 lanes. Because there's a fast way you can do it. You do belts first, and then you do all the burner drills in one direction. Oh, but then you have to go through and flip them. Which you could probably do with a blueprint, right? No, you can't. Not without bots. Actually, yeah, not without bots. Okay, so this only works. This is only fast if it uses 2. It is more dense though, but I don't think density matters. I think the best contender is this one. Yeah, probably. We'll probably go with this one. I wonder if if I space it right, I could potentially convert it later, but I don't think that's worth it. Hello, Pantaboo. Yeah, I think this is what I want to build them around. So we will have to do. Oh, we definitely should not do. This is not how we should be doing coal and burner stuff. I think that was just testing purposes. So we'll give pure resources. Should I do like one of the OG coal lanes, like the ones that non-speedrunners do, where you have coal going down the middle and the resources, and you just sideload it? I feel like that's probably the best thing to do for burner inserters, considering how much coal I need to pass along just for latency purposes. One burner inserter is not going to be viable, and the other option is like 2 or 3 burner inserters. So yeah, it probably is worth doing this method. This also has, what side of the belt is this on? This is going to be on the inside. I was going to say it has the benefit that I could feed coal like this instead. But that doesn't work. I could do this though. I don't know how scalable that is. Yeah, I don't know, that might be worth it. That might be worth it. That limits me to half a lane total of coal per column, which is actually that's a pretty decent amount. But on the other hand, you can also just do this, which is really fast to build too. It does waste like 1% of your coal, but that's not that significant. But yeah, I probably have to do a smelting lane like this. Because the other option, I think you can do it with the regular, like the more standard one, but you have to do it more like this. And like I said earlier, you have to double up on the inserters, at least early on. And then you have to connect. Well, okay. I guess the time saving would be not needing a splitter at all. If I did this, I don't need any input inserters. That probably is worth it for the first couple. Because it really comes down to how many belts I need to connect. This would be 2 belts plus an inserter lane, or 3 belts plus a weird compressor. Actually, those are all... They're all very, very comparable. Oh, but I do like how this one's pure coal, so I can send it this way. Okay, I think we'll go with a dedicated lane for this one, for this first one. Actually, I think all of them will be dedicated lanes in a 100% setting at least. If I had handcrafting, I think it would be a little bit different because placing like extra splitters and getting a few extra belt isn't that much of a loss. But I think saving like 100 belt is actually kind of nice when I can't handcraft things to speed it up. But we'll see. This part can always be changed very easily, especially since the footprint of these is identical. They just have different resource connections. So yeah, we can just put a splitter here, send it across, and move this over 1 tile because it's in the wrong spot. Oh wait, no it's not. No, it's in the right spot. Everything's in the wrong spot. Well, weird. Okay. I can actually put it way farther over. Ooh, that does... Does that decrease the size? No, that doesn't decrease the size of my base. I just had I had left way more space than I needed. There we go. I like that. This is... I have not built a... I've not done coal distribution like this in a really long time. But it does work pretty well. It's a classic for a reason. It's hard. I don't like it more than no coal distribution, but you know, take what you can get. We'll just leave that for now, just so I have a basis. I will delete these because this is very easy to memorize. And now we can just send stuff straight through and straight through. I think I need to side balance them. I probably won't do it this way. I don't think I'll load on both sides of the belt. What I think I'll end up doing is load on only one side of the belt and then side load every other row like that with a quick turn up. Because that makes the inserters way easier to place, and it only really wastes like 1 belt, doesn't it? Yeah, it only really wastes like 2 belt. Actually, yeah, no, it doesn't really waste anything. The belt, I think the belt ends up being the same. So yeah, that will work. I have not made a decision yet for the starter base. Do I just need to do segmented like 100% to see what this is like? Is that... I wonder if that's probably the only way to test reliability. Because we were comparing the 2 different designs I could be making. This one will waste inserters. So I don't think I would... This wastes a lot of inserters, but it is reliable. Wait. Oh, I think I have something that could help with reliability, though. Because my main problem generally is the burstiness of coal consumption. Like, at a steady state, you only need, like, 1 drill for every... 1 coal drill for every, like, 4 iron drills whenever you account for the assembling machines as well. It's like a 1-to-4 ratio or something. When you include all of these inserters. Or no, actually, no, that's too low. I think, like, 1-to-3. But... whenever you build a new lane, you need a burst production that's like 4 or 5 times higher than that, where you need way more coal than you need other resources. Otherwise, latency is incredibly high. But it's not really viable to get, you know, 5 lanes of coal before you have like a full lane of iron. Like, that just is not going to work in terms of expansion. So you just kind of eat the latency. But there is the option of doing just a little bit extra coal and maybe using a coal buffer. Because then I could probably just always overshoot by like one lane. So then at any given time, I can just fill in the gaps using whatever is buffered. And a coal buffer is probably one of the easiest things you can set up with burner drills. Because you don't have to worry about, they always self-feed. And that would be very expandable too. Oh gosh, but it's hard. Oh, it's so hard to get a full lane. Wait, is this even a full lane? I don't think this is a full lane. This is like... This is 10 drills. This is... Or this is 10 inserters. This is half a lane unupgraded. Okay. That's not great. I guess I could just add... I could add a loop if I really wanted to and just sideload it like this. There we go. That lets me buffer one lane, one supplemental lane that I can like sideload halfway across. There's not really a good spot to place a buffer, I don't think though. Because you also have a lot of belt that gets wasted, huh? But I think a buffer somewhere would be decent, especially early on. For that bursty production. And that'll make it that these are a lot more reliable. Because it's really... These things only really die if you have like a very sharp change in coal. And they keep running for like a minute or so. Probably like a minute or so. I think technically coal can last... Let's see, 4,000 divided by 72. Yeah, coal lasts about a minute, but that's only if the inserter is working full speed. So realistically, probably more like 2 minutes or so. 1 to 2 minutes. With the internal buffer, that means you give like 3 minutes of this being able to run. And if it doesn't get coal in that time, but it still is getting iron, it dies forever. Which is not great. Very much not great. So I'm trying to avoid that by not self-feeding. But it's worse for UPS. It's much worse for UPS. I think. I'm just basing it on active inserter counts, I guess. Or I guess I'm just basing it off of inserter counts, but I'm assuming it's probably a little bit worse to have them not self-feeding. Maybe it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, because what are the other options? Or actually, how many inserters would I be saving? That's probably what I should really consider. This is our starter base, roughly. Actually, let's only we don't need to compare the smelting lanes. We only really need the assembling lanes. So that is just this entire section. Oh, wait, we only use 6,000 inserters for the base. So max, this saves 1,000 inserters. Okay, never mind, that's nothing. Because I think we have a grand total of like 50k, which is similar to how much we'll have this time around too. Yeah, 54,000 inserters is what I used in the first attempt. So many inserters. So our goal is probably going to be the same amount of inserters, because that's the thing that limits us. But we'll be able to get more outposts out of that. Why does this vary so much? Oh, it's because the smelting lanes are like 40% of the inserters. Yeah, the smelting lanes are going to have the same amount of inserters, no matter how I built them all. Okay, so that means I just need to go with whichever is fastest to build, or maybe fastest to run back and forth between. I wonder... You know, I could base it off of what happens when I upgrade it to blue assemblers. So these are gray. This is 12 long. Fully upgraded, these can move... This pair can move 1.8 items per second. So if I'm thinking about what happens fairly in-game, like once I get to bots, roughly, these can move 3.6 items per second. They're consuming up to 3 items per second. If it's a yellow assembler, right? Or it's a blue assembler. This consumes 2 per second. Yeah, this consumes 2 per second. This consumes 3 per second. So I do have the ability to at least go to yellow with this. Or at least go to blue with this. These could technically go to yellow. Because it has 2 output inserters. But these end up being the limit. So that's 1.8 times 3-ish. A little bit lower than that. That's 5.4. And these, what are they? 0.5. No, 4 times 4 times 1.25. So that's 5. So these do run. If I make my entire starting base yellow assemblers, that would be a good way to get extra gears out of this. But so that would help a lot. These are actually not, honestly, they're not that expensive. Because we do have plans to use like 300 of them in every single outpost. So clearly I'm not thinking that they're, you know, prohibitively expensive. If I can see, this is the first lane. You know, that helps. The fact that this is the first lane means it's probably never going to run out of coal. I could also do a coal prio. Is it? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Is it? I feel like it's unrealistic to think these could use yellow assemblers. Because that also limits me to half a yellow belt. I would need like 4 side loaders. Putting iron on this side. Because I could technically go to a red belt, but because they're self-feeding, that's also really bad. I can do a red belt fairly safely with these. Because if these run out, it's not the end of the world. Like, you might lose a second of production or something, but it's not going to stall the entire lane. These have to stay yellow, which means I would need to sideload it at like 4 or 5 different points. Okay, yeah, no. I think, okay, yeah, no. We're going with these. We're going with the original lane. The no self-feeding for the main base. Saving 1,000 inserters does not seem very worth it. We'll see how I feel when I realize that, oh, yellow assemblers would actually be a good idea, but who knows? We can just redesign the whole base at that point. Okay, and then this brings up the awkward question of, do I actually, or not the awkward question, this brings up the question of, do I ever want to plan for upgrading these to blue assemblers? Or can I? These can definitely be upgraded. These can be upgraded, no problem. I don't think these can. Because these are probably output limited, right? This produces 4 wires. No, 2 wires per second. No, wait, is it 2? Yeah. This produces 2 wires per second. So before upgrades, I can only do 1.2. So with this upgrade, that goes up to 3. Technically, okay, yeah, we can upgrade them all to blue. Cool, so there are expansion opportunities here. Very nice. Very nice. We can also, I don't think we won't try to optimize entity count early on, but we could probably, oh, that only saves 1, never mind. Yeah, because these things make it that it's hard to use underground belts. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with burner inserters, huh? You can't really use underground belts to save resources that easily. Or save, not resources, save bot placement time. Because you're definitely not saving resources. These are incredibly expensive, especially if I do it to move a single tile. That's, well, yeah, that's like tripling the cost of the belt. Okay, so we have that. I think I decided that I want to filter these at the end. And just filter out the iron to probably the right. And then I can send that back up to the other side of the mall. Oh, wait, no, that's actually really nice. No, I like that a lot. I'm not sure exactly where this goes, so we're going to leave a gap. We'll compress the lane later. Then this gives us a very good spot for a mall, and we don't have to do the We don't have to do the long inserter hack, which, if you're not familiar with it, is this. So that way you can basically use these things as long inserters. It's really fun. It's really fun. But it's really annoying to set up. You also have the option of using underground belts in the exact same way. But those have to have a very specific spacing. I think it has to be at least a gap of 2. Wait. Wrong side. Wrong side. It also is this one's really easy to build if you can go against the grain. Yeah, these are 2 ways to use burner inserters as long inserters, kind of. Like, not really, but, you know, it's a way to access 2 different belts on the same side without getting into sushi territory. Because sushi does not work well on these things. There's a lot of limited options. I still want to get sushi science working, but I have low hopes for it. Very, very low hopes for it. I'm also thinking, let's see. We'll probably use a lot of undergrounds in the mall. Because I have to either use an underground or more undergrounds. Yeah. Because those can't output. Wait, can this output? Yeah, we'll basically just have to do undergrounds for the chest. That's not necessarily going to be a problem. But now we can just do a regular mall. Which, well, regular mall kind of, in the sense that it's going to have things in it, I guess. Can we do 2 output this way? We can't do 2 output this way. We can't fully run the conveyor. This is easy to build, but it is limited. Stack size is probably going to be a pretty early upgrade. Actually, no, it's not going to. Stack size won't happen probably until the 2-hour mark. Actually, no. Stack size will be before bots, which means it probably will be the first thing we do after Gatlop. So we could probably assume that we'll have it about like 90 minutes in. But we still can't fully run the conveyor assembler. Unless we do coal on this belt as well, which we could do. Or sorry, we would want... No, I would want gears and iron on the same side. Maybe I should have done the long inserter, or the long inserter hack. Like it's looking a lot more viable now that I realized how output limited this would be. Because then that would just send this iron here, or somewhere. It doesn't matter that much. This would go here. We'd have an underground here. Input, input, input. A belt here. These are the coal belts. And this is it looks really slow to build. This is fairly fast to build.
Beef taco.
Well, at least relative to inserters and burner inserters in general. Compared to anything else, it's slow. But these vertical belts are actually not slow to build in any way. And they're cheaper than using splitters too, so really like them. Hello Simon, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Currently trying to figure out how to make a mall. Well, there's a lot of different ways I can make it, but trying to make a consistent mall that's at least semi-compact for like the first hour. And since it is designed around the first hour, I guess I do want, yeah, I want these to be able to work full speed right off the bat, because otherwise I have to double up on them. Okay, wait. This is not... Also, why is that there? There you go. That's where I keep chests. Okay, I think I can manage with this. This is going to be incredibly input speed limited, as always. But it has an equal amount of input and output, which is nice. There is something I could... Okay, there is something I could consider. And that is having self-feeding iron on the side. I don't know how hard that would be to set. It would be very... Actually, it might be pretty easy to set up. Because, like, I could definitely get a little bit more input if I had vertical iron lanes, like mixed iron and coal go, mixed iron and, not coal, mixed iron and, no wait, it is coal. Yeah, iron and coal going through the vertical lanes. That would let me speed up the inserters a little bit, but have a reliable ones as well. Kind of like that idea. Mix the two designs. But on the other hand, that just kind of wastes inserters. But it saves assembling machines, which are cheaper. Inserters are cheaper. Because one extra assembling machine is like 8 extra inserters. So that would let me do this, basically. And this now has the same speed as this, with only 4 extra inserters, but it's safe. So that way if there are coal issues, the run doesn't die. That might be worth it. Especially considering how few of these I'll have. That's a grand total of like 100 inserters, and that means I don't have to stress about something or overdo coal by a significant margin. I like that. If we can figure out a good way to distribute coal with that, though, that is a big if, because that might require us to do a bit too much with splitters, or we would just have to make sure that everything we place is on the correct side. Like, let's say this goes here, that's going to go on the right side. Actually, that could work. Like, if we did the coal distribution like this, that would put coal on the right, iron on the left. Okay, that's pretty nice. I think that inserter starved. Or things are just backed up. Oh, I killed the power. There we go, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I could do something like that. That gives me half a lane. That does limit my options later to use this for plastic, but I think as long as I just choose a different row for plastic, then we're fine. Because plastic will be taken directly from these lanes as well, because it will be built probably in the middle of the base, locally wherever it's needed, and we'll just have a petroleum pipe going through the base. So with that in mind, does that change anything? No, because now I can't output much, can I? Whoa, wait, no, it does. I don't think that simplifies them all, because I still can't output from this. Not safely, at least. I can output this way, I think. So that doesn't improve the conveyor. It improves this section, which is why I haven't converted it to everything yet, because it might not be useful. But I'm glad to keep it in mind. So we're going to keep these splitters here so I know what's going on. They're just going to stay pure belts for now, just because we're just testing things. We don't need to worry that much about it being perfect. We'll have to give this so many tests. We'll definitely spot obvious things like, you know, 12 infinity chests. Those will not make it into the end design on accident. But belt assembler, is there any other way I can do the belt assembler? How can I get another output? Maybe I shouldn't have my first mall be in line. Well, actually, I guess this isn't my first mall. This isn't my first belt assembler. This is going to be my second belter assembler, which means I can probably care less about it working full speed. Because my first belt assembler is going to be this one. And I have 2 of them, it looks like, that I can use. Oh, wait, no, that's my old design. 1 belt assembler. But still, I'll have 1 belt assembler running the entire time. Fish taco, the fish. Yo, it's a fish taco song. Nice. I still want to know the odds of that. Maybe I should just keep track of it, because I'm really curious. Hello, Windhorn. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Right now we are designing a mall for a 100% run, but I'm using burner inserters, so I am incredibly limited by literally everything in the game. I don't think there's anything that isn't a bottleneck now. I guess assembler speed? I'm not limited by assembler speed, so that's something. Yeah, I think this is my best bet for... Yeah, no, this isn't bad. Yeah, we can live with this. I don't love this. I definitely don't love this, but it's really good for build speed, so it's hard to pass it up. So maybe instead I should have other resources on this side. Oh, you watched my no keeper one? Nice, nice. Yeah, have fun. Yeah, there's a lot. No, I do enjoy this one. This one is just designing the burner stuff is a lot of mental effort because there's so many weird considerations. I don't think playing it will be too bad. It won't be great, but I think once I have things designed, the run should go smoothly in 16 hours. I don't know. I think it will be 16 hours. Yeah, this is a continuation of something I did previously, where I did the same thing but without blueprints at all, and it took way too long. It took 30 hours. So long. Okay, 2 belt assemblers seems reasonable. This feels blasphemous, but we do need these for science, so there isn't really a great option. Yo, thanks for the sub as well. Enjoy your sock-themed emotes. That's mostly what we have here. No real reason. I don't know why I chose that, but I do have a lot of socks. So I figured they would make great emotes for that. But yeah, we have... Oh, gosh, I need these for science. I just don't like that I have to build inserters because I'm just terrified I'm going to place them. But considering it's an unofficial category, I could probably like not reset the run if I build one inserter. But I probably would. This doesn't... Okay, so this builds fast enough, this builds fast enough. This is going to be input limited. But it's also yellow inserters, which means I don't need extra. So this would run, I think it would be about 2/3 speed, which would be... It's about 6.67 or so, 0.67 inserters per second. Which is probably enough for science. It's not enough for 12 science assemblers. It could start me with 8, though. And then... Wait, hold up. How much do I need? Stack size 150. Plus another 200. Plus another 250. So I need 600. I need 600 science. Oof. Or 600 green science before these would actually work full speed. Okay, so that gives us 2 options. We can either have iron come from the side. We could hand feed it to kickstart things. Or we could make 2 of them. 2 of them is probably not too bad. I wonder if there's any way I can... I wonder if there's any way I can make the iron belt go the other way. Probably not. But that would make building it a lot faster. But also slower? It would be risky. I can think of fast ways I could do it, but they would be risky and I could accidentally destroy the coal belt. Because I could design it like this. And then every time I expand it, I just turn this belt, continue on, and then rotate it around. Oh, but that's actually... It's fast once. I guess it's slower as soon as I do it a second time. Because if you can go against the splitters, you can utilize Smart Belt. And it will automatically place all the undergrounds, which is great. Whereas if I go with the splitters, I have to manually place it. Although if I'm only doing undergrounds, I guess since I know where the inserters will be. Okay, if I'm only doing undergrounds, that's not bad. Because I have no reason to alternate. Yeah, there's no reason for me to put any straight belts there. If I can stagger these, is there any way to get this to be... Let's see, how wide is this? So this tessellates on a 10 tile range. That is unfortunate. So We cannot get full drags in there. We can almost get full drags in there. It would not. Wait, does that look right? No. Yeah, that's slightly shifted towards the end. That doesn't work. Okay. Well, we can't do full drags, but it's going to be pretty easy to probably pretty easy to not misclick. We'll see. But that's what blueprints are there for, to make sure that we know exactly where we're clicking. I might actually use the. I haven't used it before. Controls, Q pick. Let's test something. People have discussed it before in like a speedrun setting to set pipette and build to the same button, because that lets you build ghosts really easily. At the downside, with the downside of if you use that button, you can't use smart belt, because for some reason, smart belt like breaks, or belt locking breaks. Because normally there's a feature called belt locking, where if you move your mouse, you know, it can't go up and down. Belt has to go straight until you rotate it. But there are a couple weird things you can do if you press buttons in a very specific order that breaks it. I think one of them is pressing Q. Yeah, if you press, or not Q, sorry. If you bump control while you're building, it breaks it. And then if you press Q pick at the same time, and I think that one's frame perfect. Yeah, if you press Q pick at the same time you build, it also does that. Or maybe it's not frame perfect. Oh, if you click and then press Q. So yeah, not frame perfect. But if you just, you know, get your click order off a little bit, it breaks it. But when you do this, they're at the exact same time, so it just breaks it guaranteed. But what it is good for... How do I ghost these? I'm trying to ghost. I don't know how to ghost in editor mode. I don't think you can. I want to test the Q picking to see if this helps. Because I've never actually used this one. That part's risky. But like, can I do the back half? Okay. Ooh. No, that's actually that will be so useful. Is there any way to mess it up? I don't think realistically, I don't think it's something that you can mess up by having your mouse completely uncentered. Oh. Okay, it is. Never mind. Immediately realized. So as long as I center the mouse. So maybe if I'm careful to only use it on entities that are a single tile, those are like impossible to mess up. Or at least harder to mess up. Maybe not impossible. Because like, you know, this, you can't click off center if you're clicking on this at all. It has to be on the belt. But these you could definitely misplace. I'll look into that. That might help a lot with the building. I don't know if any 100% runners actually use that still. Or ended up using it. I know it was discussed for 100% because 100% uses blueprints, so it's like really nice for that. But because of all the finickiness of it, it's also a bit risky at the same time. And you just is it worth sacrificing, you know, other keys to do that? So there's only so many on the keyboard. Or at least so many easy to reach ones on the keyboard. But yeah, if I do that, I mean, that doesn't change how I build this at all. We still have not nearly enough inserters. Oh wait, we would be output limited. I could do the iron thing here. I don't like it. I don't really love that option. This iron side loading. I could technically do that in the mall here. But I think that would be worse than just setting up 2 inserter assemblers. I guess it also comes down to what are these going to be in the end? So this can do 1.8. So that means these are working at 2/3 capacity. So that max, because they're doing an extra entity. right? So this would want 3 irons first. Three resources per second. Wait, oh, it's not balanced though, so I can't actually estimate like that. Oh, this was iron, this is gear. So it's actually just working at half speed. It's just straight up working at half speed. That's worse. Okay, so half speed. There is, wait, I think, do I have another option? I don't have an option that can make it work full speed, but I do have an option that makes it work slightly more and would let me hand feed a chest. So it can start faster. But, oh wait, this is going straight to the mall, so that won't help. I had an idea of, like, what if I have 2 output chests, but one of them was temporary and just hand-fed? But that wouldn't be able to make it to the science unless I hand-fed it, and that's, I think, not going to be worth it. So yeah, we just have to accept that this works at half speed. When it's fully upgraded, it's still going to work at half speed. So let's say it gets 0.9 iron plates and gears. You can add iron through the chest side. Well, if I add iron to the chest side, the issue is that I don't have an output as well. So I can increase the input, and that would make it run like 20% better. But it's still not going to run full speed. But it might be worth it just if that pushes me from having enough for science and not having enough. It could be the difference. But, I mean, it's probably the difference of like 2 science assemblers. That might be worth it. It will be balanced, inserter, and limited. Yeah, it's just always going to be somewhat limited, though. Is it harder to build? Because, like, if we just had iron here and had this extend, yeah, that would be balanced. Yeah, we could probably do that. I'm not sure if this is going to be here. I think I'll keep it there, because I think my other solution would be to just not have it at all. So we'll pretend it's there, and if I decide to keep this iron lane, then we can go with it. Okay, so that would be... Now this is running full speed. Well, full inserter speed. So that's 0.6. 0.6 per second. Yeah, it is balanced at least, as everything should be. This, and then we can also expand these pretty easily. So if we wanted to do, yeah, we have to do another. I don't think there's any way about it. Because we actually have a higher green we have a larger green science requirement, I think, than a normal run would. Because we have to get a very specific tech way earlier than you would need in a normal run. Like, stack inserter size is essential, so we have to get it before bots, or build like 50% of it more of everything. So we at least need... We don't need more science, because we're still going to be slower, but I don't think we can make do with 40% less science. Yeah, we'll go with this. I don't know if I need a buffer chest. I probably don't need buffer chests here. Especially if I have these working full speed. I probably don't need to buffer the inserters at all for anything. Because I obviously don't need them for building. Yeah, no, there's no reason to have a buffer chest there. Unless we incredibly undersize it, but I think we'll be fine. Then this will look something like that. Input, input. Yeah, okay. That's decent. Hopefully this is the only thing that has to branch off the side like that. But I'm not actually sure, because we also need undergrounds. Okay, actually we need undergrounds. Yeah, okay, if I set it upright, we can make it that everything that needs something that isn't iron is at the end. So that way we can have this That way we can just assume this iron will always be here. Yeah, okay, I think... Yeah, this iron will be here. And then once we connect steel and bricks later, I think those will just replace this iron lane, or maybe start, like, side swapping with the iron lane. That could be good. Also, do we need iron here at all? Oh, yeah. Iron is here specifically for the belts. Or we could input balance these. I mean, technically I could just remove 2 inserters. But that runs into the same problem as this if I remove this belt and use iron only from this side. It's technically input output balanced, but now it's half the speed. And belt I do need a lot of, because we need to make a whole lot of undergrounds really, really quickly. Maybe not that quickly. We're building slowly. I don't think I think it's ambitious of me to think it's actually going to be fast. I don't think 1 belt assembler is going to be enough. Currently, belts are fully balanced as well. Oh, is it like an even split between here and here? I haven't been counting the belt balancing, but that is a nice supplement. We'll probably have to add a second lane here if we want it to actually be balanced, or maybe just split off of it. Because I don't actually know if any iron will get through here. So we probably just need another lane. But yeah, that will keep them nice and the same. Okay, now the fun part. Underground belts. These are not going to work full speed. Ever. Is there any way to do that? I think the only way to get these to work full speed is to have them be entirely self-feeding inserters, which is really, really bad for these. It's already bad for gears. It's very bad for them. Yeah, yeah. There's not enough iron yet, but we can always just put it here. It's mostly just because this is designed to take all of the iron from this belt, so this is actually going to be empty. But it's a good spot to add more iron as well. So I figured probably would be adding it there. Okay, so since these are going to be so incredibly input limited, and they don't need gears, we can do 3 iron inserters. It might, honestly... We also need to get conveyors. So we have a couple options here. We could either just get conveyors from this belt. Well, we have to get conveyors from this belt. We could put conveyors on the iron belt. Or we can just have this work slower. I think having this work slower is probably the better option. But yeah, we need entirely iron here. Currently, like, where the undergrounds are isn't that important, which is why I'm just kind of not finishing all of them. Because it's a lot of work to build the vertical lanes, so I'm trying to not build them if I don't need them yet. This doesn't work. There we go. There we go. Now it works. So this would be a lot. Oh, wait. These use a lot of transport belts, too. So I guess this isn't actually... This wouldn't speed it up that much at all. Because it needs transport belts and iron. So even if I can give it... Like, this is the perfect ratio of iron to transport belts right here. If I give it more iron, I also need more transport belts. So I think the only thing I could do to burst out more undergrounds would be to just have more inserters. Or hand-fed underground assembler. I guess I don't need this to be full speed either. We just need a lot of them pretty early on. Considering by this point in the run, we've already used 100 of them. Actually, wait. 200 of them. And we don't even have a mall yet. So we're going to have to hand feed. Wait, that's a lot of undergrounds. There is a possibility I might be able to get away with hand feeding the inserters until these go online. They're really hard to hand feed. They have such a small hitbox, but it is something I could consider, at least for kickstarting this. But realistically, honestly, it would probably be easier to just do a larger burner city and just hand feed the assemblers directly is gonna be way better than hand feeding inserters, or at least way easier and consistent, and probably better. I think it's just the better option. Yeah, this doesn't have to be a splitter. I'll keep it like this for now. Wait, one of these isn't copied right. There we go. It's like something's not right here. I got off the pattern. The pattern is like there's a one tile gap, and then there's no gap, and then there's one tile gap. And oh, this is where we got off the pattern. I see. Wait. Is that a problem? Yes, yeah, the coal has to be on this. Well, technically no. The coal doesn't have to be. The belts don't technically have to be on the same pattern. Actually, is there any reason for me to have this alternating pattern? I think for things like this it matters. But maybe not. No, I don't think it matters. I think I just like how it looks. We should probably just put them all on one side, I guess, huh? Like this doesn't have any... I don't think this has any decrease in functionality. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this functions exactly the same. With no downsides. Huh. Did these matter? Why do I have them designed that way? I think just because when I first set them up, I looked at it as a pair, and I've just been like designing it that way ever since. But that's way easier to build. Oh wait. Okay, technically that works still. Oh my gosh. So this is this is the fastest way to build it. I think it would make a lot of people mad because of how staggered it is, but it is faster because it saves a pass. I like I like that actually. It looks really cool. Disgusting, yeah. It's great, right? If you want to share coal with other materials, it matters. I don't... Not sure what you mean by that. Unwatchable, yeah. I have one thing that's slightly staggered over the rest of the base. Everyone leaves. Fair. Oh, okay. Like if you mean like if I go to like, I don't know, let's say a chemical plant or something. That's not a chem plant. That's an assembly machine with a chem plant in it. Actually no, because that could always come from the left. It's not even all of the... Wait, what? Oh, well, yeah. This part at the bottom is because I haven't gone to it yet. I see what you mean. Yeah, these are definitely inconsistent. These ones I wanted to be consistent because I'm just thinking in terms of build speed. This is way faster. And I think has no downsides. It's way easier to place the powers, right? Does yellow work? Yeah, okay, I like that. Hello today, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is a little personal challenge of mine that I work on every once in a while. Because I'm very fascinated by burner inserters. Mostly because they're terrible. There's no reason to use them. Pretty much no reason to use them. Ooh. Wait. There's not really a fast way to do it. Oh, you meant the power pole forced the alignment on the... Oh. Wait. Is one of these off? Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't even notice that. That's so much worse. Oh no. I can't do that. There we go. Do you have a solution for the late game time to initiation? Oh, like latency and stuff? This is our burner outpost, if that's what you're referring to. No, the coal buffering time. So late game doesn't really need a solution because late game can definitely afford to overproduce coal and fuel. So the only time I'm worried about coal latency or coal buffering being that significant is early on. So that's where I'm trying to focus my like coal time on. Because like when you start, because it's really not about the ratio of your miners to your coal production to your like actual production. It's more like how much extra lanes you have. So like early on, if you have to get four extra lanes to help with latency, that's a lot. But later on, it's still probably going to be like four extra lanes to account for latency. But that's in addition to like 30 smelting lanes you have at this point. So I'm not too worried about that. I think what we'll end up doing is this. We'll have one of the blueprints will add this at the end. Yeah, late game was the first one. It was mostly like that because I didn't have a great solution for oil cracking and stuff like that. Mostly due to limited water. So we had trouble getting enough solid fuel and just petroleum in general. So I couldn't really justify using solid fuel everywhere in my base. Also, it was, no blueprint, so it was just a mess. But the blueprints for this one will probably be designed around this. So that way later on we can supplement it with solid fuel. The only thing we have to worry about is that these don't go on the first 5 lanes, because I think these lanes are going to be plastic assemblers. So we just need to make sure these get dedicated coal lanes, and then everything else can just have solid fuel going onto it. So that should hopefully solve it. I don't think it's something that'll be a concern with blueprints, so that'll be nice. Of course, that's if until I realize that chemical plants are incredibly expensive to run. Who knows? That might be a problem. Yeah, chem plants are fun because these can just take directly from the coal patch. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that though. I think what I'll do is these will get like a separate filtered splitter. I don't know. I might end up not putting plastic in the middle of the base because it does make resource distribution a whole lot more complicated. You have to be very careful about where you connect coal patches. So it probably would be safer to just do like a coal belt here instead and just call it good for all my plastic needs. So that way I can just connect 2 coal lines later after solid fuel is set up. Yeah, okay. No, that's probably better. I like the idea of just being able to take directly from these lines, but honestly, that will help with the coal buffering time too, probably. Because these take up a lot of coal. I guess at that point, I should just send plastic through the lane. Well, technically coal's denser than plastic, but with the pipes, it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe this is where plastic should be. I could do something. I could do both. Because this is faster to start initially. So I do have the option of like just doing a coal filter here. To the right. Oh wait, that doesn't work. To the left, there we go. And then I would have to connect it. And okay, never mind. That looks way worse than I thought it would be. Yeah, we'll worry about. I guess we'll just figure out figure that out once we have an idea of where we want to do red chips. But yeah, we'll need to do something to make sure only coal can get onto those, because I do not want to accidentally back up my plastic lane with solid fuel. Okay, so these are now staggered to the left. And they should be way easier to build. These are missing outputs, aren't they? Yeah, these don't need double outputs. Oh, right. These have the double outputs because I was considering putting iron on this belt. Oh, okay, I see what you mean now. If I were to share, if I wanted to like have iron on this belt, having having them staggered around the center like this gives me the option to do that without having to do every belt. That's the difference. Well, I forgot I was considering that. So I kind of just wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, so that means these, well, wait, I guess build speed doesn't matter that much, does it? Because I could also do the power poles. Since the power pole is on a blueprint, they're really fast to place. So yeah, if I need to build it like this, I can, right? Ooh, wait. Those don't reach. Do they? Oh, wait. Yeah, those don't reach. I think any solution, it looks like any solution that has an iron lane here is going to make it that the power poles are very messy. And that is and that is why I always say that I'm pretty sure the burner everything mod would actually simplify things. Because then everywhere I place a power pole, I just place one burner inserter and problem solved. And then I don't have to worry about awkward power pole connections. Because in most cases, it's easier to connect a burner inserter than it is a power pole. The only thing that would be harder would be like chemical plants and stuff. But like the main base, that would be so much nicer if it was burner fed. But then then it wouldn't technically be a 100%, at least not a submittable 100% run. I really want to keep it within those rules just because it sounds real fun. Okay, so obviously we need stuff in the mall. It is, but it's really awkward to build. So I don't know how much more awkward it is to build. And also, it's not reliable. It's very much not reliable. So it would double the throughput, but it would probably be temporary, and I imagine it will stop doubling the throughput. And then we'll just be left with inserters hanging there. But by that point, we'll have stack size 3. We'll hopefully have stack size 2 at least. Maybe 3. And then by that point, these can work full speed. Yeah, it's definitely a consideration. Can't it be connected easily by GC power poles? Connected by GC power poles. Oh, you just mean like the assemblers? Wait, why did this work? Oh, hold on. Factorio music stopped. I didn't put it on a loop. Oops. One song, looped forever. There we go. Can't it be connected easily by GC power poles, or better, make the coal underground longer? Oh, have like a larger gap and have the power pole go down the middle. That would be... Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. And that also gives us a possibility of doing a supplement lane later if we really want. Because, yeah, we could leave a gap there. Does that do much? I guess that doesn't really save power poles. Wait, the coal one can't work? Oh, okay. Wait. Maybe I'm not. Or do you mean... Oh, you mean longer like that way. Yeah, gap in the middle... I guess it wouldn't really... It would save like one power pole, right? Maybe like every now and then it would save like... It might... Well, okay, let's see. What's max drags? That's 9. Okay, it would save 10. It would save 2 power poles. So I guess the main reason to do that would be if I wanted extra iron throughput. Oh wait, no wait, I wouldn't be able to use it. There's no way I could get iron throughput out of that. I could use it for extra gear throughput, which sounds more useful. Yeah, let's leave those. Let's leave these here because this is a consideration. Hello Vega, welcome, welcome. This needs 4 and 4. Technically these aren't a full 4 because they're self-feeding, but it's close enough. Okay, there's still room for power poles if we do the side loading. Okay, so this is doubling the throughput, right? No, it's not. Well, I guess at some point it will be double, but probably not for long. It's about like 60%. Yeah, we can also do... Yeah, if we flipped it as well. Let's flip this one. Yeah, true. The power pole gap would be pretty nice if I did do the alternating. Does that work? Wait. Why did I... Wait. That doesn't work, does it? These are small electric poles. I completely forgot they're not medium power poles. They can't reach that. No, I'm with you. I thought the exact same thing. But this power pole can now reach this power pole. So it still works out. It still connects through the green chips, just in a different way than I was expecting. I did not realize it could reach that. Okay, I think that works pretty good. Honestly, with how dense this is easy. This doesn't waste any inserters. You can just full drag, which is really nice. Oh my god, wait, hold up. This is a very easy to build. This is incredibly easy to build. There isn't a single gap anywhere in here, which means I never have to let go of left click. So basically I would just do everything facing one direction, everything facing another, and then everything facing the other direction. Yeah, that works real well. That works really well. That, honestly, I think that more than makes up for any time I would spend trying to connect an iron splitter. Also, you just have to build so many less of these. Okay, so this would go here. And this is an improvement in, it's 1.2 to 2, right? 1.2 times 1.2 to 2, that's why am I... Oh, that's not the number I'm trying to get. How many of these did I have originally? 12. Okay, that's easy then. 12 times 1.2. 12 times by 1.2 times 2, so that's 20. No, that's the wrong way around. There we go. 7.2. For coal, why can't we put coal on the same block? belt, or would it deadlock the inserter? So self-feeding inserters with burner inserters, they're fine for like if you're just doing like a casual, like you don't have a time goal run. But the problem with that is they are incredibly risky. They are incredibly risky. Um, they have a very high chance of just dying permanently without manual intervention if you just lose coal for like it's just a minute. If you run out of coal for like 1 to 2 minutes in that lane, or low on coal for 1 to 2 minutes in that lane, you can just lose that inserter permanently. So the idea instead that I've been working with is having nothing be self-feeding. For lanes like this, it's actually not really any slower to not have self-feeding. For things with one resource, it's a little bit slower, but the consistency is really important because these need to just run really well, and we can't have any hitch just stall the lane. Circuit networks we use about halfway through the run for the larger ones, but yeah, we don't have it at this point. So one of the options is to just like constantly check on it and hand feed it coal. If I had a larger hitbox, I wouldn't be that opposed to that. But I've tried hand feeding lots of inserters before, and the hitbox is like half the size of a conveyor belt. And it's very, very messy to hand feed, especially when you have things that can't get coal on them next to it. But yeah, later on, for the things that are super prone to brownout, that would be these ones right here. Because out of all the ways you can arrange an inserter, grabbing from a belt, these, as long as you are not incredibly low on coal, with Blueprint you can have circuit networks from the beginning. I don't think they work. I don't think they work from the beginning, do they? Or maybe you just don't have combinators. I thought they weren't functional until you got the research. They do? Okay. Yeah, you could have something that just checks for coal nearby, possibly. They are widely used in 100%. Yeah, I thought they weren't used for a while. Maybe that was just maybe that comment was just someone suggesting. Maybe that comment was just about someone suggesting combinator stuff and on top of that. But yeah, out of all the ways you can grab from a belt, these are fairly reliable. These usually work as long as nothing else is grabbing from that same section. Or sorry, this one would work as long as nothing else is grabbing from the same section generally. And this one is almost never going to work unless the belt is backed up. But there wasn't a good way to design my outpost around not having an inserter that grabs from a belt going away from it. So these do have logic that disables them if coal is not backed up. So we could do something like that in these as well. I don't know. Still, I don't know how much it would be worth it. Because it doesn't simplify. The only thing it would remove, it would save me one inserter. So that's pretty, the savings are pretty small. It saves this one. And I mean, technically it saves this one. So it saves 2 inserters, but it doesn't save any, I don't think it saves any time, does it? Because I still need 2 outputs. But yeah, I've considered some stuff like that, but I don't want too many of my inserters to have circuit logic on it too. I don't know that much about UPS and Factorio, though, to be fair. I don't know how much of an impact it will be to have like 1,000 dedicated circuit networks, but because it would probably be around 1,000 inserters that would have it in the end, since they would just be all individually reading only the belt in front of them. But we get UPS bottlenecked at 4 million green chips. I don't want to be UPS bottlenecked early here. But I guess if it could save inserters, that might make up for the wire. Yeah, sushi all the way would not be great. Sushi burner inserters do not work well. I mean, burner inserters in general do not work well, but sushi ones really difficult to balance the coal, because then you also have to have logic for coal as well on all of those inserters, but then they just only run like 5% of the time because there's never coal. They're great. Highly recommend burner inserter builds. There's no downsides to them. Oh wait, read belt contents, hold. Oh, wait. We could change the circuit conditions halfway through the run, but we can't add a note. We can't say coal or solid fuel, can we? That complicates it a little bit. If these happen to be the lanes that I use plastic on, we'll know that it'll always have coal. We could do something to guarantee it has coal, if I really wanted. But coal is just worse. But I'll probably have like one lane of coal I can use here, just to guarantee they have it. So this works. Greater than 1? If solid fuel not equal to coal. How does that help? If solid fuel isn't equal to coal, doesn't that just mean it works if it has nothing? What if it has like 2 solid fuel and 2 coal though? Doesn't that also make it not work? I don't know how likely that would be. Maybe it would be fine. But that sounds like a risky solution for something that sounds like we're replacing one very finicky we're replacing one finicky unreliable solution with another. I would much rather just send a dedicated coal lane, which we can definitely do. We can guarantee that 8 assemblers have coal on them. But right now, I don't think I care that much about circuit conditions, because it won't actually save much time or resources. So it's a pretty low priority. We'll put it on the back burner for now. Because I don't think there are that many. Like this, would this benefit from circuits? No, not really. No. Because this is primarily just output limited, just all around. So this one, yeah, this one doesn't need to worry about it. These could be a little bit simpler. This one could definitely run a little bit better if we could get fuel ones. You wonder how often a burner inserter can swing when it has rocket fuel? It doesn't speed it up, unfortunately. There is a mod for that. They do have mods for that increase the burner speed relative to the type of fuel you put in it. But no mods allowed, so unfortunately. But if you put nuclear fuel in it, which we can't make, it can run for like an hour or something. Right? Oh, let's see. Or is it more than that? 1200 divided by 0.072. Oh, 4 hours. I can run it for 4 hours at full speed. Roughly. Because they don't actually take 94.2 kilowatts. That's their peak consumption. On average, it tends to be about 72. I maybe in some very specific scenarios where all it's doing is reaching forward constantly. I don't know. You can do it with blueprints. What? What can I do with blueprints? Mine rocket fuel? Or mine uranium? Because that sounds like it would not be allowed. Oh, fueling inserters with nuclear fuel. uh, how? How do you fuel that with burner? How do you fuel? What am I missing here? The idea was for loading the silo, we could just throw a stack in and not care about supplying fuel. Yeah, but the silo is. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, that is unfortunately not part of burner inserter logic. If it was, this run would be a lot easier because then I could probably rely on self-feeding coal for pretty much everything. Uh, pretty safely by just giving them one rocket fuel. We couldn't do the nuclear fuel, unfortunately, because we can't mine uranium, which is very sad, because I think a nuclear-powered burner base is just... The dichotomy of that is fantastic, but it doesn't let you. Doesn't let you. One day. But yeah, for loading the silo, that's going to be built by bots, and it's only going to take like 2 inserters that I don't have to hand build. So silo, not something we need to worry about hand feeding rocket fuel for it. Although we have to be even less concerned because we'll just have one belt with RCUs and rocket fuel and one belt with LDS and rocket fuel. And then we'll have the disassembler, the satellite assembler, we'll just be using from the same belt. Why can't we mine uranium? You cannot mine uranium with burner inserters or burner drills. I have it disabled just because we can't, or I have uranium just turned off entirely because it doesn't do anything. IIT is healthy, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't think most people would know that. There's no reason to know that, to be fair. There's not really many legitimate reasons you would be using burner inserters and also have uranium. Wow. There we go. I could have just spawned uranium at that time. Yeah, you can place it with these, but there's no way to place them on top of it. Anymore, at least. I think technically you used to be able to. Or maybe I just saw it in a mod. But I thought you used to be able to, but you can't. You can't these days. Which is really sad because, if I'm being honest, uranium would be super useful. Like, really useful. Yeah, it was either a mod or... I was thinking it was just a bug of, like, the original old Factorio. Rather than, like, an intended feature. Just like, oh, oops. We didn't account for this. But yeah, our power plant is going to be... It's going to have to be... I think we need about 2 to 3 gigawatts. Roughly 2 to 3 gigawatts. But it's going to have to come entirely from steam engines because we don't have access to nuclear power, which is really sad. Technically, I could also let myself use solar panels, but that's a lot of solar panels. So at that point, I'm just going to use steam engines. Also, it just feels more in the spirit of things. I don't technically have, in my rule set, I don't have solar panels forbidden, but I'm mostly just allowing them because I need them for the achievement. But I don't want to make 5,000 solar panels, or... No, that would be way more than that. That would be a lot of solar panels, wouldn't it? 5,000 times like 30? Fif- Wait, is that how many solar panels I would need? No, 3,000 divided by 0.06. No, that's right. Never mind. That's a lot of solar panels. It would give us a It would give us something to spend all of our green chips on, though, right? Because we will have... I mean, that would use, like, 5% of the green chips we produce. But yeah, it's, gonna be fun. Honestly, I don't want to forget about this, so I'm actually going to... No, not this one. Wait, no, they don't get connected like that. Okay. Fuel... Enable condition, fuel greater than 1. Greater than 0. And then read belt, empty. Oh, that's pulse. That's pulse. Whoops. That breaks things even worse. What's the estimated amount of inserters? 50,000. There will probably be about 50 to 60,000 by the end. Leaving to work on the 8-wall Taz. You're making a Taz of the meme run? That is awesome. Good luck with that. Yeah, it's like, because this is like a, a time constraint / speed run thing, there's the really weird balance of having to consider like build speed and just early reliability for builds as well, and that makes things so much weirder. I don't check it that often. I saw the 8-wall percent. I didn't realize you were making a Taz on it as well. That's cool. Yeah, this is nice. These are definitely a consideration. They would be very strongly a consideration if I go with half a lane of iron first. Oh, he already finishes it. Oh wait, are you doing another one then? Are you trying to make a better one? I'll have to check it out. I'm curious now. DSMP. Default settings multiplayer. I looked at that. It reminded me of an acronym from my old town. I was like, that's not quite right though. It was either that or Dyson Sphere, but yeah, right. Default settings. Gotcha. I'll have fun with your projects. I'll have fun with this one. I'm having fun with this one as well. But this one, hopefully yours has you beat your head against a table a little bit less than this one does. Okay, so this has extra gears. Honestly, just having more gear assemblers isn't bad. More gear assemblers than I have. No, I would need a red belt, but yeah, I could just have more assemblers here, no problem. I also don't need nearly this many green chips for the first like half of the run. We need 1, 2, and then probably 1 or 2 for assemblers. So we only need 4 of these, and that will be good until we get to bots. I'm pretty sure. Because not much of the mall is using green chips. Are you taking into account ratios and stuff? It's hard to do ratios for... It's really hard to do ratios, just in general, whenever you have things that are inserter limited. Very hard to account for ratios with that. We do our best to keep the ratios not like terribly unbalanced. And there's also the issue of some costs fluctuate throughout the run a lot. We try not to like have the ratios too far off, but we definitely we have to work with what we can. Like this, the only way to get the right ratio for gears and circuits is to put the cables on a belt. And this that increases the amount of inserters you use significantly. And it ends up being a lot harder to build too. So I just feel like having them run at 60% speed is just nicer in the end. But yeah, because normally it's like, you know, a 3-to-2 ratio roughly, or a 1-to-1 ratio, but you have inserters that are working full speed. This is a 1-to-1 ratio, and we're inserter limited. It's really bizarre. I think, honestly, I think we need 2 of these. I really think we need 2 of these. See, is there any way I could do? I could put coal and iron. I could put coal on this belt. And this wouldn't necessarily need logic on it. This would just help with throughput. Right? And would it? It's risky. This is an option though. So what this does is it lets me get 3 inserters as opposed to 2. But two of them might die at any point. I don't know if that's better, but it's an option. We definitely only need 1 splitter assembler because the way I do the designs for this doesn't use that many splitters. I mean, it uses a fair amount, but it doesn't use as many splitters as how most people design burner stuff. Because I found undergrounds are faster to build, cheaper to build, and look a lot cooler than having splitters. But yeah, mostly faster and reliable because of smart belting. Once you get into the bot phase, only the reliability part of that really matters. But at this point, the build speed matters. Because what you can do here, you can do all the vertical belts, or all the horizontal belts, and then you do all the vertical ones, and smart belt places them. If you were to try to do the same thing with splitters, you have to do the vertical ones, and then you just have to manually click. You can't do any full drags, which you can get to be decently fast. But it's always, you always have that risk of placing the inserter in the wrong spot. So that's why we have these vertical lines here, instead of the common way people tend to do it. Very common way would be, let's say you have coal here, and then you would have a splitter here that goes like this to output from it, which is decent. This one works fine. It runs into the same issue I was talking about earlier with the inserter taking from a belt. This one won't work until this is backed up, but also this one takes priority, so this one is pretty much guaranteed to, honestly, it's like 90% of the time it's gonna die, unless you hand feed it. So that's why we avoid the splitters. Unless you gave them dedicated splitters, but then then you're just doubling up on doubling up on splitters every time. Yeah, that's the biggest the biggest design idea for basically the entire base. And it gives you these really nice coal grids that you can build with, so you always know where you need coal. Because it's not like split in really awkward ways. There's just one massive compressor on the side that delivers 4 to 8 lanes of coal. Yeah, honestly, I like this stagger. I think this looks really clean. It saves a lot of power poles. Maul as well. Just being able to do drags without having to let go of the click helps so much. And then assembly machines. Ooh, assembly machines. How do I do assembly machines? Also, these are circuits, so we'll just go with this design here, because we don't need these to run full time. We just need the split. And then assembly machines, right? Oh wait, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I forgot the things I actually need. These should not be in this order. This should actually be at the end. We should probably put things just for science at the end of them all, which sounds weird. Oh, but then the latency for science is going to be pretty high. It's like there's this weird choice I have to make right now between having things be close to me or having it be prioritized in resources. I could possibly do this. I might be able to double side them all somehow. Yeah. Oh, if I could do the splitter long inserter. The splitter long inserter strat if I wanted to. But I might also just be able to bypass it, right? No, I don't think I can double side it. Unless iron came from this side as well. Nah, I don't think it matters that much. But double siding them all would be really, really good. It would be the same height too. Yeah, I think we'll figure out some way to wrap it around. Right now I'm just trying to get everything I need placed in them all. So that way I don't have to, or that way I just like know what I need to do next time. Okay, so we need burner inserters. And because these aren't sharing with science, I think we can make do with... Oh, wait. I was going to say because they're not sharing with science, we can make do with one assembler. Or one assembler. Because, you know, usually normal runs have 2 assemblers or so. Like, a lot of people in the speedruns tend to have 2 assemblers for inserters. And then, you know, you take like half of them for building. But the problem with that is that I also need to use twice as many inserters as a normal build. So I think I still need just 2 dedicated burner inserter assemblers. You're about to suggest the slot filtered train car. I really wanted to do a slot filtered train car, but they're really they're not that great. Because you can only get like 2 inserters. You can only get like 2 or 3 inserters per assembling machine for the most part. Unless you have it on both sides. And then you have latency issues. But the main thing is mostly just how the main thing is just how little inserters you can get out of it and how many resources it takes to start it. And for this part, it's, you know, we don't have trains yet. But even when I get trains, I wasn't able to find a way to make it work that I was happy with. Sure. That's fine. Oh wait, I can't make this gap. I think I need to alternate conveyor belts, burners, because I can't actually connect this iron. Wait, do I use this iron? I don't use this iron. So I can just sideload it at a different spot. Yeah, we'll just sideload it at a different spot if that's the case. Okay, so burner inserters can output. We need 2 of those we've established. So there we go. Now we have 2 of them. And then probably assembling machines first, and then the rest can go into science. Because these are going to be so input limited that yeah, this is going to be so incredibly input limited that I don't think I am concerned about it stealing from the rest of them all. Yeah, no, that is definitely input limited. 2 inserters. But yeah, I think we're just going to need like 3. Because I need these to work a lot faster. Let's see, what's the ratio? It needs 2 iron to 9 iron to 8 intermediates. That's not a ratio we can make. Everything's just automatically balanced. Just because I can't. Because you can't actually balance it. That makes it balanced just by definition, right? If it can't get more balanced, then it's perfect. Or it's denial. One of the two. One of the two. Howdy, Togaman. Welcome, welcome. We're doing some burner stuff again today. It's been, well, okay, I've been working on it for a couple weeks, but it's been a few months since we did our first attempt. Finally wanted to start getting back into it. Okay, this is decent. I think I'll have to change the order of some of these, and I want to figure out how to double side that. But I wanted to give a brief tour of the old base. because I've been referencing it a few times. So the old run, I don't know how long it took because we ran it for a little bit afterwards. I think it was like 25, 26 hours. I don't think it was saved that quickly. Yeah, because this probably was launch. Or all achievements done. Alright, let's see. Maybe this one? Electronic circuits. Have we made 20 million? Okay, so no. Did I just do a run for like 30 minutes one day? I think I did because I had been streaming for 3 hours. Okay, so it did take us 29 game hours. Okay, yeah, no. It was very rough doing it without blueprints. Yeah, this was the original run. It was a very good test to see what kind of designs I like to build. And if like certain designs were viable by hand. Like I wasn't sure if this would be viable by hand. It's like 10%, 10 to 20. I think it's 10% more compact. But it's also incredibly expensive, so this isn't what you can't do this for the first couple lanes. And it is technically slower, but it's not that much slower to set up. So you can do it for like your fourth or like 20th lane. We also have this kind of setup, which I think we're still going to do, where we just feed a coal and iron lane directly straight into the mall, so we don't have to worry about inserters distributing coal, which works really great for the starter lane. Then after that, it just depends on what your patches look like. We also had some helicopter inserters over by the coal patch, which was mostly just a meme. It is technically more dense, so in some way it is better. You do get extra coal out of it. It's just very little extra. And also for a coal lane, it's actually, if it's this long, you probably waste all the extra coal you get out of it. We also had an issue with power towards the end. Or we almost had issues with power. Most of the base is stopped by this point, because things just kind of ran out of buffer chests. But we had problems with power because I did this blueprint list. I didn't have good blueprints to get water from the lake. I'll be using pump blueprints next time. So we'll be able to get another like 50 probably. I don't know how many, probably another 50 to 100 pump jacks or offshore pumps on this. I'll need to look. I don't actually know how big the blueprint is, but it gives you a lot more pumps than if you just are placing things by hand on the edge. Power was a mistake. I completely got the ratios wrong. I was calculating for the wrong type of thing. I think, doing a red belt of coal when I was like, oh, I need one full belt of coal, but it's solid fuel. So yeah, that wasn't work. It was off by a factor of like 3, but that's fine. Bots did it, so it wasn't an issue. We had multiple different green chip outposts. In our main base, like I said, we had the grid system, but we didn't have a base designed already. So there's a lot of spaghetti throughout it. And yeah, it's a very space inefficient base. But if I had self-feeding, it wouldn't be that much more space efficient. So that's why I've been sticking with the grid, because I think I would not end up saving that much space if I switched. But I might do like everything I build by hand using the grid, and then stuff I do later using self-feeding, but with circuits. Not sure. By the way, for the furnace stack, is the half belt of fuel limiting us before we get the full furnace stack? It shouldn't be. The latency is a bit high, definitely, but half a belt of coal is plenty. Unless I misread the question. The furnace stack is the half belt of fuel limiting us before we get the full furnace stack. Yeah, this honestly, actually, no, wait, this is really good for latency. Because the other way I would have designed it is this, which is really bad for latency. So yeah, basically your issue here is the furnace lane doesn't start at all until your entire burner lane is done filling, which has an internal buffer of 5 plus 2 when you count the inserter as well. So you need to get 150 or so coal past this lane before anything gets to the furnace lane. But on the other hand, furnace lanes without iron doesn't do anything, so that didn't end up mattering. The only downside of this way to do it was that you did use twice as many belts from here to here. But I mean, that's a 20 tile range. You are going to suggest a design that doesn't require underground belts, but all inserters take coal off the input belts. Is your design... Is your design this? No? Where does it output? Does it just output onto the sides? And like side load it? Yeah, this one, yeah, this lane of coal is not necessary for amount of coal delivered. That's not why those are there. These are for simplicity of building. You remember your design which forgot to power the miners? I mean, you don't have to power the miners. At least not in this design. But yeah, I think I did consider that. It was really awkward to build because of the 3 tile gap. But I mean, this is also pretty awkward to build. But the reason this ended up not being terrible to build was because of smart belt. Because if I can do full drags, things are nice. Because then the build order for furnace lane is 1, and then you go like here, 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 and then you just place furnaces without having to let go of clicking. And as long as you get the spacing right, it's very quick to build. And then inserters as well. I mean, you do have to add the output inserters, but it makes the furnaces way faster, or at least way cleaner. If I spend a lot of time practicing placing it this way, I think it could be all right. Is it less dense? It is large. It's very long. What was that? How did I copy just those? These have a gap of 3. If I really wanted to, I can maybe make it a gap of 2. No. Well, yeah. No, I don't think I could do a gap of 2. It'd be a gap of 3. Oh, that doesn't work. So how tall would it be for a full stack? I feel like it's pretty tall, right? So this is 18. Oh my gosh, these are huge. It sure would be nice if I could use different different inserters. I like how I've never done an actual 100% run. I've done 2. Well, counting this one. This is my second try at 100% things, and I still have not done a normal 100% run. But the considerations are so different. I can't justify it. How much cheaper? How much cheaper could it be if I did a different lane? I could do one. I could do one half smelting lane with the side loading design, like one shorter smelting lane with that design. That would greatly decrease the amount of inserters, the amount of undergrounds I need for starting my design or for starting the base. Because the undergrounds are not a concern after like the first 30 minutes, but for the first smelting lane, currently I need a lot. I need like 60. I can remove those 60. That might be worth it. I guess it really comes down to can I do something about the coal? I guess I don't have to have this adjacent to the other miners. I could do something like this with a gap here. And I can even make this one shorter to make up for it and just take from the same belt. So we could do this. Why am I designing in this one? These blueprints are not, this is the wrong, this isn't a design one. Oh, we'll go back to it. Wait, let's see, where was it? Actually, no, where was it? Yeah, we could do it for the first one. I think we could do one. If I want to avoid rotations, I could do this. It's not a good idea, but it would be fun. It would be a funny way to avoid rotations. It only works with one. See, how's it? I think density-wise, this is worse. Build speed-wise, this is a lot nicer, though. Well, is it? Actually, yeah, no, build speed-wise, this would be nicer. Not much, though. I guess it doesn't save a lot. No, input here, input here. If I don't end up liking my direct fed mall on the burner base, I might do the starting base like this. It depends. I think it'll depend how many undergrounds I can supply with. Yeah, it'll definitely depend. Is a no rotations run possible? Yeah. It just would be awful. It's on my list though. Because of splitters, you can move things left and right. Still, you can even have like an automatic base. And because default directions of inserters and the inserters and belts both have opposite directions, that means you can also move things up and down as needed. So the combination of those two will make it possible. And then, because these aren't considered rotations and stuff, like they don't rotate the cursor, you could still use undergrounds. You could still do undergrounds. Yeah, I mean, they're very similar in like you're limited in how you design the base because of rotations, just in a very different way. But yeah, just pure no rotations at all, I think would be possible too. Technically, I think you could do it with biters. I think, well, okay, you can do it with biters. It depends how I would want to do it, because I was debating between no rotations run or I can only just like walk in one direction, which would be slightly different, but kind of the same idea if you really just end up making a super tall base. But they might also be different enough that I might do both. Who knows? You're here because you watched the mouse only video? Nice, nice. I'm glad it's been doing well. I'm very happy with it. Now it just means I have to make more of them. Or get to make more of them. That was really fun. I'm currently designing something for a very, very long single stream run that I'll be doing. Hopefully single stream run. Burner only, but I'm getting every achievement, which is fun. Very fun. We're trying to design a base for it. This was my old run, which I did without blueprints. Took 29 hours. And most of that time was spent during the outpost phase, because that is where 90% of your resources go in 100% all achievement stuff. I think it uses about 90%. Because if you're not super familiar with Factorio, I think a lot of people don't realize how many this truly is. So I think this is like 90% of the resources you need for mass producing those. And then I think second to that is it's either minions or it's all researches. Because this requires like 6 rocket launches or something. 6 or 7 launches. And then you have all non-infinite researches. And those ones are like still a lot of resources, but they don't compare to the green chip one at all. Uh, and the issue with doing that is that that's a lot of inserters. I wasn't expecting to be able to UPS bottleneck my computer with something I built without blueprints in a reasonable time, but boy, was I wrong. I actually dropped to 40 UPS at one point, and then had to cut most of my base because I didn't want to wait around for like 10 real hours, even though I would have had a better in-game time. But we had a lot of different outposts, and the main flaw of, well, 2 main flaws of all of these. The biggest one being all of these buffer chests, because I had no idea how long I would be playing. Now that I have a goal, I know I can do tiers, one that has 8, one that has 6, and then one that has 4. Because reducing these buffer chests is a very significant decrease to, or increase to performance. And we also don't have any direct feeding here, or very little direct feeding here. We did a little bit of fun stuff as well, like beaconing these, but yeah, these weren't good ideas. I really wanted a beacon build. This was the worst base ever. It didn't help that it was also using on-patch smelting because somebody wanted me to do it as a meme. But yeah, we then redesigned the outpost. This is basically what we have in our new design. Where we have all of the furnaces going directly into the assembly machines, which works pretty well, except our new one uses tier 3 assemblers and is incredibly power hungry and expensive. But I need to reduce inserter costs because yeah, I want to be able to do it in 12 hours, and that's not possible with gray assemblers. So I have to let myself use the high tier unless I just want to do a 24-hour stream, and I don't think I could do that. I don't think I'm up to that. Ooh, hello. There we go. Excellent close chat. I clicked on the wrong spot trying to go to achievements. But yeah, this is the new design. Each section here produces about 300,000, 400,000, 3 or 400,000 green chips per hour, I think. Mass production 3 is a lot of chips. Yeah, it's a lot of chips, which is why the 100% runs of this game, if you're doing it as a speed run, you literally just put those chips in a chest, and then you make like 20 to 25 outposts that just put chips in chests forever until the end of the run. Their outposts use electricity, so they're able to do it in like 2 to 3. I think the outposting phase is like 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. We get UPS limited way earlier here. So my goal is 20 outposts, but they're much worse. You put them in a chest and blow them up. Yeah, if you don't want to make infinite, like keep expanding your outposts, yeah, that would be a good way to manage them. Yeah, realistically, because burner inserters are so bad, each chest can last for about 4 hours. No, 2 hours? 9,600 divided by 1.8. Okay, it's actually more like 1.6, I think, because this doesn't work full speed. Yeah, each chest is 2 hours, so realistically, I can make these in 2 different ways. One that runs for 4, one that runs to up to 8. And then if I want to save UPS later, I think I could do a second blueprint later that disables all the 8-hour chests. And that would be honestly a pretty, not massive save, but I think it would let me get one more outpost with the same performance. Because that would be disabling a lot of inserters that way. Like, it would disable like 2,000 inserters, which is an entire outpost. But yeah, I am very, very excited with how this turned out. I actually really am curious. How much does it produce? I keep forgetting. Do I have do I have any other here? I don't think I have any other here that'll skew the numbers. At least not by a significant amount. I might become a robot briefly. Just a heads up. When I fast forward it to times 64, it doesn't tend to like that. But yeah, I think the entire set of 7 is about 12,000 per hour. But the actual outpost probably will not be the entire set of 7 because I completely underestimated how many belts of resources I can truly get from, or sorry, overestimated how many belts I can get from one patch of resources with burner inserters, with burner drills. Okay, that should have run long enough. Okay, it got over the hump. It also has like a weird like, it overproduces slightly for a bit, and then it reaches a steady state, which is really fun. It makes a cool graph, but also was really confusing when it first happened. So yeah, this whole set of 7 produces 700, 800,000 per hour. So each row is 100k per hour. I think per outpost, I'll be able to power either 3 or 4 rows of them. So my goal is to have 10 outposts at least. Probably can only do 10 outposts. 10 to 15 outposts that are all these. And that should get me to 4 million per hour. And then my computer will start yelling at me because it's completely maxed out. I don't have a bad CPU. Like it could be better, but it's not bad by any means. So yeah, don't use burner inserters, or do. It's fun. But yeah, I want to give an estimate for this run, but it probably won't be till like the end of January, because we still have a lot to do for the base designing. Factoria is mostly RAM speed limited. Well, if I had like a X3D or something, that would help. And like, it is RAM limited, but also like, it's CPU limited as well. Like both of them would improve it. Especially since I'm also recording, that does not help at all. Probably lose like, because I'll be recording and streaming it, I probably lose about 1 to 2 outposts I can make. So like 500,000 green chips per hour, just because I want to be able to stream it. That doesn't help. But I think that was the main goal for today. I wanted to get a design for this that I liked, and I'm pretty happy with this new one. I mean, it has 2 parts of it. It has technically it has 2 designs in it, and I haven't decided, but it's mostly decided now. And the mall, we didn't quite finish. We'll have to finish this next week, because I don't really see a great way to double side it that doesn't have me just putting iron on both sides. But I think that might be the solution. We might just want iron on both sides, because that is very viable to do. Because then we don't need these splitters at all. Actually, hold up. Maybe that is just the strat. Because that makes it half as wide. And this is something I'll be walking to a lot, so actually less wide is important. So this works decently. We obviously can't have gears. We can't have conveyors here. And we can't have... Well, we could have conveyors or inserters here. It depends where I put green science. If I put green science over here, obviously, conveyors will be produced on this side and vice versa. I guess that doesn't matter that much. And then I also need to flip it as well. And now we're only going to be sending green chips through here. Oh, wait. Still needs to go down a tile. Okay, now we only send green chips through here. We have iron coming from one side and from the other. That's a lot denser. I don't think it's more rotations because I have to build each section in pairs. I can't really build more than that. So yeah, it doesn't really improve. It doesn't really cause that many rotations extra. At least not compared to twice as long. And if I really wanted to, I could reduce the rotations even more and waste a belt, which not a terrible option because that gives me options for throughput later. So if I had a belt of gears and circuits here, just separate belts of gears and circuits, that lets me... Actually, no, I like that. That would let me do this. Because I can use red belts, but I can't use them that safely. So having one, but I can use them as an output very safely. So I could have red belts like here. Oh, but these use this as an input. I don't know. We could potentially just use red belt here to double the throughput. I think that's something we can do with them all, and it wouldn't necessarily be a problem. But for now, I'm just gonna connect those. This looks like, honestly, this looks like decent ratios for them all. We definitely don't need this section here. We don't need electric drills. It's really weird not needing electric drills, like at all. It just feels wrong. And then these can all go here. Perfect. And then we have 2 assembly machine assemblers. That's really nice. If I can shift them over a little bit, I can have them output to the same chest too, which would be even better. Or we could leave space later for assembly 2 assembler here. Would be even better. Well, also, we should probably plan this part to actually be expandable to the outpost phase. I might have to look at real 100% blueprints for a little bit to see if I can get any ideas. I don't really know how they do the outposts. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Whoa, wait, we got the fish taco song again. That's crazy. I think it's supposed to be like 5%, so it's weird getting it like twice in a row. But thanks so much for the follow. Yeah, well, we do, I've been doing burner designing twice a week, roughly. I do space exploration on the weekends. And then meme run stuff is, I mostly stick to Mondays for those, or Monday and Tuesday if it ends up being really longer. Much longer than I intended, and I just want to finish it. But I stream most days around this time, just for a couple hours. I'll be wrapping up soon. I really wanted to get this mall finished. Well, not finished, but like, I wanted to get it double-sided, and I think this does it. These can't be conveyor assemblers if we do the double-sided mall. But that's fine, because it's so much easier to build that it's worth it. So that means we can just put the burner inserters here. And honestly, we could maybe just put these on the other side. We would have to produce belts in 3 spots, but we probably do need belts in 3 spots, because we also need red chips. So yeah, I think it would be good to plan to have more conveyor assemblers here, which just feels like overkill, but they only work 60% of the time. And then these would get moved. Actually, these could stay down here, but we'll need red belt producing up here, and those will also be input limited. I think the more I look at this, the more I think that we need a gap. We definitely need the gap here, because then that would let us get 2 red belts of resources. Because there are some parts of this that are going to be very, very fast. The main thing is these assembler 2s, 3s. I just want a rough idea of how many of these I need. Always nice, smart to leave space for spaghetti. Well, this will be fully blueprinted, so spaghetti won't be that prevalent just in the designing. But because we won't be in a run, we can always like we can fix spaghetti at this point very easily. Yeah, I don't think we'll have that much emergency spaghetti, but we could probably add a few tiles here and there just in case I screw up my blueprints. Just between every build, have like three extra tiles so I don't screw up. Well, yeah, they probably they'll probably work fine. It helps that we don't have that complicated of designs, and we only have like a 16-hour goal. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some unforeseen spaghetti when I'm like, oh, I didn't make rocket fuel. Hmm. Fortunately, we don't need that much. Yeah, we need 2 assembly machines. So we need to produce. Let's see. I said my goal was 1 of these per hour, 2 of these per hour, at least. So we need 700 assembly machines per hour. That sounds like a lot, right? That definitely sounds like a lot. That is roughly. Let's ignore plastic because plastic's pretty cheap. Actually, wait. We can't really ignore plastic in that cost, can we? We can look at this one and double it. The speed modules are a different cost. All I care about right now is these costs, which that would be iron circuits. Okay, so subtract the steel from that. So that's 90, roughly. Yeah, we need about 90. 90 iron times. Let's just round it up and say 1,000. We need 1,000 per hour. That's only 90,000 plates per hour. That's not that much. That's not that much. That's 2 belts of resources. It sounds like a lot. I guess because like half the cost of them comes from a different lane, comes from the red chip lane. But really all I care about is can these 2 lanes of resources do everything I need for outposts? And the answer seems to be yes. I'll probably need a lot of inserters. Um, but yeah, I think they should be able to supply the outpost pretty easily. I also just realized I forgot burner drills. I definitely need burner drills here. We'll have to do calculations later for how many other things we need in the outpost. But I feel like these are going to be pretty hungry. Who knows? I have no idea how many assemblers I'm going to need to do this. Considering they work at this point in time, like 5% speed or something. They need 90, or they need 9, and we can give it 0.6. So this works at like 8%. This works at like 8% speed. Wow. These are okay. These are not great. I think we might have to do the side-loaded iron on these two. But yeah, I think we can fit everything we need in this section. I don't know how I'm going to fill the supply train. Maybe I'll just need a second mall because I don't want to use bots for that. It feels against the spirit of things to use logic bots for filling the supply train. I'm just trying to think of all the spaghetti we're going to need to get like 6 different resources from here to the supply train. Unless we just build the supply train here. The building trade could just start there, and then everything gets a lot simpler. Actually, it probably should just be next to the mall. Because the only thing that would go there instead would be oil. And oil's really easy to just shift down like 2 tiles. Okay, so I'm decently happy with the progress here. We have a lot of different designs we can choose between, and they all seem decent. Like we can make 2 or 3 different types of furnace smelting mining lanes work. We can make 2 or 3 different kinds of smelting work. I do want to paste that one blueprint with this, so I don't forget about it, because it might actually be worth it to set this up as our first lane. Does this work? Oh, I cut off half the blueprint. Perfect. If I combine this, having the train pull into the mall and then pull forward with a million circuit conditions sounds silly as well. Honestly, that's not too bad. Like we could do something with trains pretty easily, or with we could do something with trains and circuits. It wouldn't be too bad, because it's really we only have one train that we send somewhere every like 15 minutes. You can make the blueprint furnace a little narrower. Narrower in which way? As in like you mean like this? And then use undergrounds? There are 3 tiles between the input and the output belt. Oops, that didn't work. There are 3 tiles between the input and the output belt. You don't need undergrounds. I don't see what you mean. The output ones go upwards. Oh, see. No, I don't see what you mean. Oh, are you just saying like this? Just have that, give them all a dedicated belt. Can you supply via splitter to enter the side of the furnace? I wish. I wish you could do that. That would sure would be nice. Just like a loader. Poor man's floater. Oh wait, no, that's not more compact. I don't see what I'm missing here. Maybe I don't quite see what you're talking about. Oh. Oh, I see it. Narrower, okay. Yeah, I was thinking you meant... So because this was horizontal, when you said narrower, my mind just assumed left and right, even though that isn't really what narrow means in respect to smelting lanes. Yeah, I see it. I was trying to find a way to make it squished the other way. You mean use the splitter to bring it down from the belt and use inserters to grab off the splitter. Oh, grabbing off the splitter is not great. It's not ideal. Splitters are generally harder to place, more expensive, and less reliable than undergrounds. And anywhere you can use a splitter, you can probably just use an underground belt, like I have. Yeah, the main thing is that like they are more expensive a little bit, but it's more that they need copper as well. So if I just do undergrounds, I only have to do iron. I don't have to try to put copper into my like resource distribution, so it's easier to like do automation too. Because yeah, you can use splitters. It's just if you end up doing that, I would prefer just doing the horizontal one. But that's how most people design them, because it is a little bit casually when you're just doing like one lane or something. It's easier to set up. When you have to hand build 20 smelting lanes within like 2 hours, these get a lot more promising. Yeah, it does make it a lot longer. You're right. That's why I was thinking I might do it for the first lane, but maybe not necessarily the second one. It will depend on build speed. With that design, the belt is technically draggable. It depends which direction you go, right? Oh wait, which design? Your design or this design? Yours. How draggable? What makes it technically draggable? Is that only if it's single-sided? I wonder how many rows you can do of this. Because it maybe could work like this. Oh wait, but that defeats the whole purpose. The only reason I would use this if it uses 0 undergrounds. Yeah, there might be a different furnace design that works. At least for the first one. This is shorter. How much wider is it to make up for that? Actually, I don't know which matters more, length or height. Okay, that's 48. This is pretty much... Okay, so it's a 50% wider almost. We'd use no underground if we don't care about a belt filled on both ends. Yeah. Yeah, if we just sideload it, then it's a lot easier. Or just only do one side. That's why if I do use this, it'll probably just be this. Just for the first lane. So that way I can wait until the mall is set up before I have a furnace lane. It's hard to justify though, because hand feeding an assembler to make 100 undergrounds is actually not it's fairly trivial. We could do tests. We could do speed tests and just see how fast it is to build the various ways. We'll leave it there just awkwardly to think about. But realistically, I don't think the furnace lane is a significant portion of our time. We might wait until later to reconsider it. Segmented 100% run. We'll just have to do the first like hour or two a couple times, I think. And obviously make sure our burners, make sure our base works. But the first 2 to 3 hours do need to go well. So we do need to practice our build order for up to bots, basically. Up to bots has to be good, because we have Gotlap to reach, and I also just have to get to bots within 2.5 hours. Otherwise, I probably can't finish the run. So yeah, we have that extra constraint if we need bots in 2.5 to 3 hours. Realistically. Or bots just take 5 hours to get to, which is also not a great option. But that's it for me today. I'll be back Thursday, which I think I was planning to play Dyson Sphere. We'll see. I was wanting to play that on my non-Factorio days, which probably will do, because I'm pretty sure the combat update is out. I haven't actually double checked. I knew it was sometime in December, and it's pretty late in December, so I figured it would be out by now, if anything. So yeah, we'll see. Probably Dyson Sphere. If not, it will just be more burner designing. Depends. Depends if I'm inspired to try to fix. Well, not fix. This is actually try to improve it. See if we can do something fun with this base. But I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.